Mario Maker 2 is just around the corner, and while we wait for its release very soon, we still have a few things to speculate on. One of the most talked about scenes from the Mario Maker 2 Direct is the one right here. If you haven't seen it yet, it's because there not only seems to be an obvious space for another game theme, but the title for the section is also plural. With all that being said, it seems inevitable that we will be getting a brand new game theme either in the base game or as DLC. In this video, I want to discuss how a Mario Odyssey theme may work for this game and what items might be in it. Without much more delay, let's jump right into it. First, I want to start with the themes. Let's start with the easy ones first. Ground would likely be Cascade, underwater would be Lake, Ghost House would be Cap, Sky would be Cloud, Desert would be Sand, Snow would be, well, snow, and Forest would be wooded. Those ones I'm sure of, but the other ones are a little more tricky. Underground, I think, could possibly be the sewers in the Metro Kingdom. Out of all the items on this list, it is the only one that is based on a small section of a kingdom rather than a whole kingdom. For Castle, I think it would either be Bowser's or Luncheon. On the one hand, Bowser's is a lot more castle-like for the main game, but Luncheon has the lava that's seen in traditional 2D Mario castles and in Mario Maker. Now the most iffy one is the airship theme. So far we haven't really seen the above ground metro, and since it's Mario Odyssey's main kingdom, it'd be a shame if it wasn't included. It loosely fits the theme of like man-made things, like how airships are man-made and the buildings in Metro are man-made. Now another big question about all of these is, will they have nighttime themes? While some do in the main game, like Metro and Sand, I doubt they would in Mario Maker, since 3D World seems to be skipping the nighttime themes as well. Okay, so onto what items it will have. Let's start with the items from the original game that will carry over to this theme. For blocks, it would have ground, slopes, pipes, semi-solid platforms, bricks, iron blocks, question mark blocks, donut platforms, and ice. For items, it would have coins, red coins, 1-ups, and Yoshi. I'm not sure if it would have the brand new 10, 30, or 50 coins though. For enemies, the theme would have Goombas, Spinies, Cheep Cheeps, Fire Piranha Plants, Hammer Bros, Fire Bros, Chain Chomps, Lava Bubbles, Dry Bones, and Bowser. For Koopas, they have models but are never fought in Odyssey besides the 2D sections. For Lakitu, he doesn't act as an enemy, but since his model exists, it wouldn't be too hard to implement him. Finally, for the Piranha Plant, like the other two, the model exists, but you don't actually fight normal Piranha Plants, so it wouldn't be too hard to add. And finally, for the Gizmos section, we have Bullet Bills, Bonsai Bills, Icicles, Wind, On-Off Blocks, Doors, Key, Vine, Arrows, Checkpoints, Lifts, and Cloud Lifts. While on-off blocks weren't in Mario Odyssey, I think it's important as it's one of the few new things found in all of the new themes. Those are the items from Mario Maker that I think would be in the Mario Odyssey theme, but now let's jump into the new items. For blocks, I couldn't really think of much other than adding 2D pipes. They would change the art style into the 2D version, but I'm not sure if that would work. For items, we have hearts, life up hearts, Jaxie, and the frog. All four of these were pretty big parts in Odyssey, especially the hearts. The frog is the first capture of the game, so it would be a crime not to include it. We also didn't have any writable things yet, so I decided to add Jaxie. For the new enemies, I decided to add one from each kingdom that had a big part in it. For Cascade, we have the T-Rex, which may be hard to implement, but it's an important capture. For Sand, we have the Mummies. For Wooded, we have Uproots. For Lake, we have the Seaweed. For Cloud, I couldn't really think of one since there aren't really many enemies, so for Lost, we have Tropical Wigglers. For Metro, we have the Sherms. For Snow, we have these windy guys I can't remember the name of. For Seaside, we have the Gushin. For Luncheon, it's mostly focused on enemies already in Mario Maker 2, so the only one I could think of were the tomatoes. For Bowser, we got the Pokio. And I also thought the Mini Goombas and Rainbow guys were important to add, since they were used a lot in Odyssey, and it would also be important to have a lot of enemies that you can't capture as well. Most of these enemies would be able to be captured and be used as power-ups. Now for the final section, Gizmos, we have flower boosters, cap doors, scarecrows, scarecrow doors, which would make you have to leave Cappy behind to do a challenge without him. Maybe another new item could be introduced to summon Cappy back to a player after they already completed the challenge without Cappy. We also have the Spark Pylons, which I think would be cool if they could connect to tracks, so that you could have to avoid enemies, such as the Fuzzy, which really should be in Mario Maker 2 anyways, but if we can get it in any form, at least put it in the Odyssey theme. They should also include seeds, rocks, these poles from New Donk City, which could launch Mario forward. Maybe the forks as well, because they have the exact same function as the poles, and maybe they would just make it exclusive to the Luncheon Kingdom theme, or the castle theme. They could also add these cap platforms to add a little extra challenge to make you have to throw Cappy at the platforms. Maybe they could have some tricky levels where you have to throw Cappy at a platform while doing a jump. These cap boosters could also be used creatively. They were used a lot in Odyssey to capture things that you wouldn't normally be able to get and be able to reward the player with coins. They were also used a lot with these little ring things that when hit by Cappy, or another ring, would shoot out a bunch of rings that could damage Mario. That's all for the new items. However, if you guys come up with any, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Now, so for how it'll actually work, there were a lot of 2D parts in Odyssey, so I don't think it would be too hard to just implement it similar to that. I also think Mario should have all of his moves from the game. Since Mario was able to move around with just one side of a Joy-Con in multiplayer mode, I don't see that being an issue as well. Now, how will the actual levels work? Mario Odyssey collected moons instead of going to the traditional flagpole like Mario Maker. So, I think the flagpole will come back. Since it is a 2D game, it makes more sense. However, I do think the moons will come in and will be able to be used as a custom level objective, exclusive to the Mario Odyssey theme. I think that would be a good way to compromise between the 2D form and the 3D form of Odyssey. Also, for the other multiplayer characters, all of their models already exist in Odyssey, being Luigi, Blue Toad, and Toadette. Although Toadette is in her Captain Toadette attire, so they may have to change that. But, do I think this will actually be in the game? Definitely not in the base game, but possibly as DLC. If it was in the base game, they'd be marketing the heck out of it. I think if the other theme is in the base game, it's likely to be a game that isn't as big as 3D World, like Super Mario Bros. 2. Even though it may not be likely, I really hope it gets in. Mario Odyssey is my favorite game of all time, and being able to make levels around the different tools and moves Mario had would be incredible. But anyways, that's it for this video. What do you think should be in the Mario Odyssey theme for Mario Maker 2? Let me know in the comments. This is likely my last video before E3 since it's coming up so soon. So, I hope to see you guys then. I'm really excited to hopefully make some videos about Animal Crossing Switch. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.